So today I have to stream in portrait, and I'm not using my usual phone. So yeah, I hope it's not hazy. If you can see me clearly, just give me a thumbs up, and thank you for joining this stream. Okay, and any questions you have tonight, we'll be able to respond to them, and then we will call it a night. But thank you so much for the prayers, for those of you that prayed for me. It's not really been a good moment for me, and but I'm glad that most of you reached out, okay? And most of you, Marriott, good to have you. Hi, everyone. And Nance Meyer, good to have you at first. Okay, good to have you. Good to have you, Derek, as well. And yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. I really missed this time with you. I really wanted to be here and to have our live session like we usually do, but it was quite not able to happen. Mustafa, Halima, good to have you. But I'm glad that at last we are here. I've not been so well, okay? And actually, yesterday I spent not yesterday night, yesterday but one, I spent the night in the hospital. But while I was going through whatever I was going through, I remember the only thing that was on my mind was my mentorship students and participants and the coaches in training, and how much you guys have been quite an inspiration and motivated me to go far. You're saying you're looking good. Thank you. Looking good after spending 2 nights in a row in a hospital is not an easy one, okay? Not an easy one, but you have to. There's this thing about determination and commitment that I've usually talked about, and I really do it in my actual life. It has worked wonders that when I promise and when I say I am going to do something, I usually want to come through with it. I don't want to give excuses. I don't want to just walk away or just disappear my innocent answer. I am not that kind of person. And I hope that in this training you can actually get it, not just from the words that I speak, even what I do. Because if you are a coach, you're like a soldier who is supposed to be at the battle field, at the front line. You're supposed to be commanding. You're supposed to be giving people the way. You're supposed to be helping them. You're supposed to be. So most of the times, people are going to expect you to be strong, even when you are not strong, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you feel like you are at your lowest moment, people are going to think that you are this strong. So that is where I have been. And actually, it wasn't just a sickness that was, you just walk into a hospital and you're treated and then you come out. But I'm glad that I had to go through whatever I needed to go through in order for me to be able to be fine right now, and then to be able to be here with you and share this moment with you, okay? Lilian Navasumba, you're saying you're looking good. Good to have you guys, okay? And yesterday I was in theater and I went through with my operation, and I've been home today. I was in theater, but I knew that today I had a shoot. Today I had so many things that were planned back to back for me to do, and I had a shoot with VOA, and I had another magazine to actually shoot. So I kept having all these things running in my mind and saying, you know what, I need to just get back to having a live discussion with the transformers, because I know that they need this. I know that they need this more than anything. Most of us are discovering ourselves. Most of us are like, let me say, caterpillars that have been in cocoons for so long, and it's time for us to actually break even. It's time for us to go out there and conquer the world. And the only way we are going to conquer the world is if we become the butterflies. Now, this mentorship, what it does is it gives you the momentum. It tells you that yes, you've been in a cocoon for so long. Yes, you fear to come out. Yes, you're afraid of certain things. You're afraid that maybe people will reject you. You're afraid people will not listen to you. People will think you don't know what you're talking about. People will not respect your hustle. They will not respect your dream. They will not respect, but that's okay? Because a caterpillar does not refuse to come out. And I want you to know this place today that a caterpillar does not refuse to come out because it thinks that, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to look as good as other butterflies. Maybe I'm going to be a small butterfly, because remember, all butterflies are different. They have different patterns, they have different flowers, they have different abilities. There are butterflies that fly higher than others. There are others that are small. There are others that are just total black. There are others. So, like, there is a place for every one of us. And it does not take you up by pulling another person. There is space up here for every one of us. And that is why that is one thing that I really love about this coaching. I know my daughter took one of the earrings. I've just noticed. She just plucked it out of my ear. But you have been in that shell, okay? The shell of knowing that I want to help people, the shell of knowing that you have a generous heart and you're a giver, a natural giver, the shell that knows that, people come to me and they are helped. You have been in that shell, you have been in that cocoon for so long, and now it's time to go out. It's time to fly out. It's time to tell guys that, hey guys, look here, this is what I do. This is my number. You need help? Call me, okay? We will figure this out. I might not have all the answers that you need. I might not have all the step-by-step process for you to get to where you want. I might not have the magic wand that I'm going to flop it around and then you're just going to, to all be fine. But let's figure it out day by day. And the moment you start with having one client, or maybe you're talking to one person, even if they're not a client or paying client, and the other day you talk about it, you talk to another person, the other day you talk to another person, before you know it, you're doing Facebook lives, before you know it, you're doing YouTube lives, you're doing Instagram lives, and people are listening. It does not mean the whole world should be listening and watching you, but if you have 5-10 people who believe in you, you start it and grow big, okay? So we are in that, and this is the transformation, okay? We are the transformers, but we have to go through the transformation ourselves in order to be able to transform other people's lives. Okay, so our transformation comes from when we were born, the traumatic experiences that we have gone through, the growth that we have had, the place where we have gotten, that when you had this mentorship class, you said, okay, when I get this offer, you said, okay, this is me accepting. And this was you showing interest, because there is no one that is with us today that did not show interest. Okay, there is no one that I came to you and told you that, you know what, convinced you so much, you have to join, you have to be in this. No. When you saw the Facebook post or the Instagram post or whatever post, you said you are interested, and that is why you are here. That was the first bold, fearless move that you made, that, you know what, I will stand for my truth, I will stand for my dream, and I will stand for my calling. It doesn't matter if people don't understand me. It doesn't matter that if people say, I can't make it, I can't do it. It doesn't matter. I am going to do what I feel on my heart to do. And until you have proven yourself and said, you know what, beyond a shadow of doubt, I have come to this thing, the coaching, mentoring, counseling, and being an entrepreneur, and this thing is just not for me. Let no one else ever talk you out of anything, okay? Because they are not you. They don't know who you are, okay? So my friend Ninsima Fiona, good evening. Coach Karunji Josephine, good evening. And then I love the way you speak, all about me, not what others see. Exactly. Okay, you sound lively, Coach. Yes, I am. I feel I am powered up. Okay, and the reason as to why I feel powered up is because you guys never stop surprising me. Some of you send me your assignments, and I'm like, this, you are really passionate about this. You really want to do this. I see your social media posts, some of you that post often, and I see what you're doing, and I'm like, this is passion. This is purpose. Someone is just not, querying Bika or just to settle in a place where they do not belong, but they are decided that hope against hope, I am going to chase after my dream. I am going to chase after what I want. And let me tell you, nothing is going to stand in your way. The only thing that can put you down is self-sabotage. You're the only person that can stand in your way. But if you wake up every day and put one footstep in front of the other, if you wake up every day and just do one small thing, one small step to get to your dream, let me tell you, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 1 year from now, you will not understand who you are. And I think I said it sometime. I even posted about it. I don't know if you guys really read posts, but I've started posting serious notes, okay? And just know that all your tests are going to come from those notes, okay? So make sure that you actually read those notes, because there is a lot of information in those notes that is going to be so helpful. And I said when I posted some time back about my purpose that for me, it was not about finding my purpose. For me, it was about saying yes. Okay. When I felt the urge, when I felt the need, when I felt, something was calling, I said yes. Okay. I responded with a yes, even when I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I've said this story so many times. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to bore you with this story, but I've said it so many times that at that time, the time that I entered into coaching and counseling, literally, there was no one doing it. Like, no one I knew. It was not even a time where Facebook was the in thing or on vogue or trending. But I said yes to something I did not understand, but I said yes to my purpose. And I kept saying yes. Whenever an opportunity presented itself, I said yes. Whenever another opportunity presented itself, I said yes. And so, today, even for the start of, because some of you are writing books or want to write, the way I started was not a way that I wanted to figure it all, or I even thought there was there was something to figure out. I didn't know there was anything to figure out, but my passion drove me through, and I was able to do the things that I am mentoring you in, because I did them firsthand. Okay, so if it was to go for the interviews, I talked about that story, and I hope that most of you have watched that story. If I come to how I started writing my books, and I just want to give you a sneak peek of that, how I started to write or to be an author. I mean, it's something that I conceived. It's something that came to me after I was talking to so many people, and I knew that there was this problem. I've told you time and again, you cannot do anything in this world and you will be meaningless, you will be valueless unless you solve a problem. The moment you get a problem, get a hold of a problem and solve it. Now, if you solve a problem of 1,000 shillings, you will get 1,000 shillings. If you solve a problem of 1,000,000 shillings, you will get 1,000,000 shillings. If you solve a $1 million problem, you will get $1 million problem. So the bigger the problem that you solve, the better. That means that you must engage your brain. You must engage your mind. You must be present. You must be alert. You must be vigilant. You must be consistent. And you must give yourself wholly to this cause. This is a cause. This is not, I'm going to buy tomatoes and then I will come and sell them here. This is not what we are doing. What we are doing is far most important than most of the things that are being done in the world, because there is no anyone prominent that has made it in life without a coach by their side, without a guide by their side, without a mentor by their side. Look at the kings that used to exist even long time ago. For some of you that have watched the movies or some of those what are they called, the adventures, you have seen how those kings, it was a must for a king to have a guide, or to have someone whom they consulted, okay, an advisor of some sorts. So there is no one in this world, and now it's really becoming a prerequisite. That is why I usually say that you can outgrow any kind of profession. A time will come and you cannot do accounting. A time will come and you cannot do law. Like, you cannot go to the courtroom and argue and argue and argue. You're 60 years old and you're limping around. But the older you get, the more important you are. If you're a coach, if you're a counselor, as in, you age like fine wine. So we were still solving a problem. I started seeing people coming to me. That is when I had started the interviews at NTV. So people started coming to me, and with a problem, because with me, I did not even sit there and say, I'm going to talk about self-love. I'm going to talk about self-respect. For me, it flowed from me like effortlessly. Why? Because I came from a family that was broken. I saw what happened in my family. I saw how my mother was not valued. I saw how things were and how the brokenness came about. I saw how that affected me and my siblings, and how I swore at some point I would never get married until my mother was like, I'm praying for you to get married. And I knew there are so many people that are rising up from brokenness. And I knew there are people that are rising up that lack confidence, that lack self-confidence. And just like I told you in the beginning of this mentorship, that your best avatar, your best client is the client that you're addressing that is 10 years behind you, okay? That young Hilda that I was talking to, and I felt like I was speaking with all my mind, with all respect that, I mean, men deserve respect. Women deserve respect, okay? Women have to know their position. Men have to know their position. But both men and women have to understand the science behind self-love and self-respect, and that you teach the world how to treat you, okay? And you must be very deliberate. You must think of yourself first before you think about anyone else. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to fill up, and then everyone else feeds from your saucer. Now, that was my message, and that's what I preached. For every question that I answered with Farida Nakaziwe, for every question that I answered with anyone that hosted me, whether at Urban TV, whether at NTV, whether at NBS, whether at Bukede TV, whether at everywhere I went, I talked about that because to me it was a passion. Okay, now I saw people coming to me one by one wanting to know, how do I grow? How do I stop depending on people? How do I stop, waiting for external validation? How do I stop? How do I even win my husband's heart back? How do I win my woman's heart back? How do I get to him to love me? And I used to surprise them. I would tell them that what you've been doing has actually not been working, so you're going to try something different. You've been smothering them, you've been in their space, you've been engaging them, you've been crying, you've been kicking, you've been doing everything that you've been doing, and nothing has worked. So it's time to take a step back. It's time to rethink this strategy. It's time to give yourself time. It's time to have your own money to work. It's time to be. And so, like, there were eye openers to people, like to reminding them that you must love you. Let me tell you, in case you ever think about having any good marriage in your life, you must marry yourself first. You must love yourself first. You must treat yourself first. You must heal yourself. You must love yourself beyond any shadow of doubt. Or else you will never be able to love anyone, because you will be loving from a place of fear. And yet we can only love from a place of power, from a place of strength, from a place, and the person that you love will feel the love and they will respect the love and they will need it, okay? And then there will be reciprocation. But the moment you're the only one that is in the place of need, please give me this, please give me this. If you don't give me time, if you don't call me, if you don't need me, if you don't initiate sex, if you don't introduce me, if you don't marry me, I hear give me a ring. No, give yourself the love that you need, and let me tell you, it's going to solve the puzzle, and everything is going to come on down onto you. So that is how I identified my number one problem. And my number one problem was, millions kind of problem. Why? Because people go through it day in, day out. So I started writing my book. My first topic was actually choosing greatness. And my first topic, okay, my first title. And definitely when I brought it to Tim, after Tim is my husband, and I brought it to him, and he was like, you know what? No, I don't think, because you're not I remember I'd even quoted some scriptures, and it's like, no, you're not a preacher. You're not going to preach. And I was like, I want you to rethink this message. Everything that you keep saying on TVs, on radio, when you're meeting people, is what you should actually put in the book. And I am so thankful that he was my mentor, and he actually helped me find and even trust what I had inside of me. Have you ever second guessed yourself? I know some of you do, and many of you do. And it's okay to second guess yourself, because sometimes you're thinking, will this be acceptable? Will this be good enough? We have that tendency, and it's a normal thing. But again, do not hold yourself back without releasing what you have. Say it. Bless one person, two people, 10 people, that's okay. Those were the people that were supposed to be blessed by that. So I go back to my drawing table. I write without a topic. After that, and when writing, definitely, I had to get a place. I had a very small office, and that office was in the ceiling of a building. And so I had my desktop, and I would write during day when I don't have clients, because people had already started coming to see me. So whenever I didn't have clients, I would sit on my desktop and I would make sure that I'm typing my work, and ideas would flow. Okay. And that is something you should even specify time, because sometimes I would go to office maybe at around 6, because what, I was single by then, I was not married. So by 6 I'm at office, I'm the first to open, and sometimes even 5. I would get in there. Remember, it's a ceiling up there. I would sit in there and start writing. Okay. And I made sure that I set my time. Okay. I made sure that I had everything that I needed, because if you need a pen, if you need a book, I had a black book, and I would write everything. Like, I would have brain dumping sessions where I would just outline, and I'm like, okay, after this. They did not flow the way I wanted, but at least I had an outline of what I wanted to write about. Okay. And I made sure that I do not even edit while I am writing. I made sure that I put everything down, and then I would go back later to edit. So that is how I start my writing journey. And let me tell you, Deliberately Selfish was a hit, is a hit, and forever is going to be a hit. It has been a #1 seller in East Africa. It's for the consecutive 4 years. Okay, that is minus the years where I just got awards for it. Okay, but it has been a #1 seller in East Africa, and I cannot thank God enough for that. But I know that where I began, so many of you are second guessing yourself, thinking, some of you have not put up videos, not because you have not shot videos. You have the videos, but you're thinking, what did I even talk about? Did I look good? Do I even need, did I even say it right? Is my pace okay? Is my face okay? Maybe my language, maybe my English is not good. Let me tell you, fear or be afraid, but do it anyway. Okay? Do it anyway. Do it afraid. Okay? Go ahead. Like tutomeri. And let us figure out whether they are good or not good, and whether we say they are not good, just go ahead. Let me tell you, have you ever loved someone for what they do, even when you were like, maybe if it were me, I would have done it different, but this person, and you just love them because they are themselves. They're like, love me if you love me, hate me if you hate me. Here I am in your face. So if you don't like me, go ahead and unsubscribe. If you're here for the sense of humor, if you're here for my bad English, if you're here for my bad face, if you're here, as in, there are people you have loved, and yet maybe if you were in your sane mind, you would not have followed them, or you would not even have liked them. But again, you're like, like, bali mubire, they are not minded. Whether you love them or you don't love them, it's okay. For them, they are going on with life. Sometimes you just have to be like that. Like, keep going. I have done that so many times. I kept bumping into so many things. So I start my journey. Okay, I put my time aside to write, and then I start writing, and I go through with the editing. I edited my own book, because by then I didn't know there was anyone that was actually going to edit my book. I didn't know they hire people to even edit books. I was very raw, like very raw. So I made sure that I write my book, and I made sure that I actually edited it. And after editing my book, I remember, because I self-published, by the way, it was because I think I got offers, because I'd mentioned on different TVs that I was writing a book. I got offers, but those offers like were really, really down. And again, I remember sitting down with Tim, and Tim told me that, you know what, they want to ride on you. They will want to ride on your success, but you cannot let that. You had better done it yourself at first, so that you know what it involves and what it means to actually self-publish. And then, I go to NASA, go through whatever I needed to go through. Again, I had to go through a lot, but I made sure that I self-published, and I made sure that I put the book up on the market. I made sure, even on the day that I was unveiling the book, while everyone was excited the book was getting unveiled, I was at NASA, busy running around to make sure that the book is getting printed. I remember I got to venue that was on Rooftop Garden City. I got on venue and I was all ready, but the books were not yet there. And I remember I printed, I think they were first, I don't know, I don't remember the copies, but they must have been around, 300 or something. And I underestimated my people. So the place was filled with people because Bahati was coming. So I was like, okay, I'll unveil the book here before I then launch it. And then people lined up. I signed the books. I took pictures with people, and the books were not enough. And I was like, okay. So we started taking pre orders. So people paid their money so that they can get the books later. And I was like, okay, so I actually didn't know that this would go like this. Before I know it, bookshops are calling me. Bookshops in Nairobi were calling me. In Kigali were calling me to deliver books. In Burundi to deliver books. And I would tell them that, I've not built that capacity, but I am working on that, and I'm sure going to deliver the books. And some of them were like, we are coming to Kampala for them. And some of them, indeed, they started picking the books from Kampala. Okay. But the thing is, I started that journey from a place of, I was not an expert. Some of you are saying, but maybe for you started well, or maybe there was nothing like starting well. Actually, I was very raw. I did not have anyone that sat me down to tell me that it's possible to write a book, or it's possible to even write a book in under a month or 2 months. And some of you, I know that you're really afraid, that there's nothing to be afraid about, because what the book helps you, and I know some of you have watched those videos, it gives you credibility, it gives you a backing. When you say, I'm an author, and you're like, yeah, I'm an author, I actually wrote a book, I can write about my personal story, I can write about, so many things. Like Deliberately Selfish was not my personal story, but it was things that I have gone through. Some of them were my personal stories, some of them were stories of other people, and some of them were just encouragements, okay, from the sessions that I had with other people. And I compiled that and put it in a book. So it's very possible, okay? Set up. And something else that I know some of you have watched it in some of the videos, make sure that you set on your big idea. As you write, you will find, or begin to write, you'll find that you have ideas that you want to stick to. They keep coming to you every other time. That is your big idea. Because if you write about something that you're not interested in, believe me, you'll reach the middle and you will not find the words to go on. And so you will give up on that project. But the moment it's something that you keep telling your friend, I'm going to write a book about this, I'm writing a book about that, and whenever you discuss about it, your ideas are actually widening and becoming bigger, you go ahead and write that. That is your big idea, and that is your time to actually starting to start shining. Make sure you have an outline, at least, of the things that you will need, and then make sure that you have a writing schedule, okay? Whether it's the time, whether it's the place, whether, as in, give yourself, whether you're the kind who needs noise, or I find myself, I write better when I'm in noisy places. Now, that is very weird. Whenever there's loud music or there's people doing their own stuff, I write better than when I'm in a silent environment. So you also have to find your rhythm. But I want you to be able to tell me that these other topics are, out of these 5 topics, this is what I want to write about. And let's guide ourselves into writing something, because it's very, very possible. You're second guessing yourself, you're holding yourself back. But remember that story of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. All of you are not going to be the same butterflies. You're not going to have the same flaps, even when you've gone through the same mentorship. But you are going to be unique. You are going to be different. You're going to stand out, and your approach is going to be different. Your labels are going to be different. Your delivery is going to be different. Your power, your excitement, your enthusiasm, everything about you is fine-tuned to only you. So you're cheating the world by not coming out to do what you're supposed to do, okay? But you're cheating the world. There are people who are going to lose their lives because you're not coming out, because you're still holding on, because you're still fearful. Let go of the fear and just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. Okay, let me just read a few of these. You sound lively. And then Muki Mugabi, good to have you. Nantambazi Joan, hi everyone. Businje Evangelista, good to have you. And Catherine Ainembabazi, I missed attending class. Hello, coaches. Brenda, you're saying please hint on the extent of making research. I think as a person, I'm addicted, limited to Google. Thanks. I'm going to talk about that. Businje, dear, okay. And yes, I do the second guessing so often. And but now I'm learning to believe in myself. Businje, thanks for the clarity. I was looking at one of the videos taken and I didn't like it. Then I remembered that I am beautifully made, strong, and I need not to fear. I was scared of the camera, but then I remembered I am the pro. You are the pro, Lillian. And then you're saying Deliberately Selfish was the first book I bought for myself. All the other books I read, I borrowed. Deliberately Selfish changed my perspective on helping and entitlement. Wow. Ninsima Fiona, good to have you. And I'm glad you're giving us this feedback. So please hint on the extent of making research. I think as a person, I'm addicted. Now, I will not call it an addiction. When you're just starting, you're like, a stomach that can never be filled, or a fireplace that can never have enough firewood. That's exactly that is passion driving you. The moment you are addicted to researching about things that help other people, that is a good addiction. Okay, go ahead with it, because then you want clarity. You want to know, what do other people think about this? What are they saying about this? What other perspective, what other angle, what am I missing, what is applicable in our setting? Now, you are not doing bad. Okay, you are not doing bad. Believe me, it's your passion that is guiding you, and that research is going to create a lot of clarity, because this is what's going to happen. That's how I started out. Remember, I told you about a friend and my very first boss that gave me time on radio to actually do those mini recordings. That's about the time I started being an information guzzler. Yeah, sorry, I have so many dogs at home, so they keep barking. They must actually being fed right now. But now I started being an information guzzler. I started consuming information like no man's business. I started reading, I started listening, I started to whatever I could listen. And that time, YouTube was not really trending like all these other, but everything that I found to read, I was actually mostly into blogs and definitely on Google. And I would read about different perspectives. I would come up with my own perspective, and then I would compare it with other people's perspectives and angles and how they think about it. And then I would join these things, okay? And that is how knowledge is built and immersed. Because the information that I read then and I took in, I retrieved in moments when I didn't even think I would retrieve it, okay? And then after some time, you're going to stabilize in a certain line of operation that nothing else is going to take you off. If you're really interested in relationships, you'll find yourself only seeking relationships after relationships. And you will formulate your own questions, or maybe someone asks a question and it sends you to Google, and it sends you to go and research. It's okay. Research while you still have the time, because the time is going to come. Like right now, like seriously speaking, the time for me to be on Google is not there. Like even if I wanted to look for something, I would hold my phone and maybe I'm just going to type something, and either a phone call will come, or I will have a client come in, or I will have, like there's a schedule somewhere. Either I have to show to be on a certain set, or I have to be, meeting in a meeting, or I have to be, so I do not even have time. Okay. So what I do these days, I do my own, okay? Because I mean, I have read enough, I have listened enough, I have done everything. Learning never stops. I still learn. I listen to good material whenever I have time. And these days I'm more into podcasts because I can drive while I'm listening to a podcast. It's hard to drive when you're reading, but I can drive. I think that is only possible in the US. But here, in the US, you can drive while you're reading a book. I mean, because I mean they have all these automated systems. But here you have to be able to listen. So I listen to podcasts. I listen, and I only choose. And I want you to be very careful. Who you follow, you become. Who you follow or who you listen, you pick a part of them and you learn a part of them, and a part of them remains with you. So be very careful who you listen to. That is why I'm very careful. Even who I follow on social media, I don't follow just about everyone, though I want to follow you, because I know that we have not started this journey just to stop here. We have started this journey that will go further and further and further. I want to hold your hand until you tell me, Bahati, I am tired. Can I have my life back? But I want you to build. I want you to so high. I want you to be, I mean, to do things that are unbelievable. I want you to do things that are also going to surprise you. I want you to surprise yourself and say, hey, is this, I mean, did I do this? Did I write this book? Did I speak? Did I shoot this video? Did I do this? You deserve that and more. You are unique. You are wonderfully made. You have the strong, you have the brain, you have everything that you need to stand out. But it will be only you that will be holding you back. Okay. So consume as much information as you can, but definitely I told you, in order to be a creator, that I learned later on in life. In order to be a creator, you have to stop consuming everything. Okay? You have to like, you don't just stop and say, I'm not going to read anything else or listen to anything else, but you become super selective. Okay? Like the people I follow, or the people that I would, let me tell you, I don't follow celebrities. Like, what are they adding on my life? Apart from the drama that they put up on social media, I don't want that drama. I know I've hosted so many of them, I've dealt with so many of them, but again, it's not the drama that I'm looking out for. No, I'm looking out for people that build lives, for people that change lives. Okay, for the people that are ahead of me, or the people that are at the same level with me, or the people that are struggling to come up. I'm looking at those people that have value that they want to add on to the world. And I'm like, those are my kind, that's my cup of tea. Those are my kinds of people. That's my tribe. Okay. So you should be able to pinpoint what is your tribe. So that every right and center, when I open my Facebook, let me tell you, there's nothing random on my Facebook wall. Why? Because, and someone asked me today, actually, I think on the group, and I was like, but I want my page to look like yours. It's going to be very hard, because my Facebook page was turned to a new experience page automatically by Facebook. So it's not the usual old format of the page that that everyone has. It's a different page. I can be able to take it back to the former one, but I don't want to take it back to the former one. I think I have more features and more, things to do on the new experience, but it's only a few people that have the new Facebook page experience. I think they just chose a few, just a small category of people that had a certain kind of following, or were doing a certain kind of, or had a certain kind of reach, to make sure that they join that. But you can as well have this normal Facebook page experience, and you go ahead and actually excel. You post, you are consistent, and you do the things that you need to do. Take good pictures, okay? Make sure that you do good content, and make sure that you put yourself out there every day. People will forget you, okay? And remember, what you don't want is people to forget you. You want to be on top of people's minds. You want people to know, oh, what does Bosinji have today? What does Derek have today? What does Muhammad have today? What does Fiona have today? Why? Because they want to learn from you, and they know they will be be learning from the best. Okay, so respect the people that follow you and make sure that you're consistent with your packaging and with your content. Okay, so you need to do that. So my dear, go ahead, read as much, listen to so many things, and make sure that you become a creator. Okay, do not just stop at listening and consuming, but create your own content. People who are used to receiving and never willing to give, and in the long, they are entitled to receiving help without accountability. That was Ninsima, and gratitude. Exactly. So you learn to hold it to yourself and say, I'm just not going to give it to people who don't deserve it. Thanks, Mentor, for the clarification. I have learned something. Everything about me is fine-tuned in me. Everything about me. Wow. And I'm so glad to hear about that. If you guys have any questions, I would love to answer those questions, okay? So that I know that we are on the same chapter. So, but while we are at that, make sure that you read the notes that I post, okay? And I'm writing that book, and that book should be out by, we are in May. That book should be out in July, okay? End of July, and I know that it will be very helpful. Now, whatever market price I come up with, you'll be getting it at half price. Why? Because you have been on this mentorship. Definitely, most of it, I'm not going to give it to you in the notes section, but I will have so many things that I'm including in the final book, and it's going to be really, really helping. I want to be able to create a tribe of coaches that are mentored, that know what they want, that are confident, that their self-esteem is high, that they know how to go forth, they know how to create products, they know how to make the money. It's not just about being a coach, they know how to make the money. They know how to pitch, they know how to speak about themselves, they well represent themselves, they put on well, they smell well, they look nice, and it's undeniable that they are the world changers and the transformers of this world. That is the generation that I want to create. And that is the tribe I want to be part of, okay? So if you are in this tribe, you are already in the tribe of the champions, of the winners, of the world changers, of the gladiators, and of the transformers. So do not even look down on yourself. I know so many situations come, but do not look down on yourself. Let's start, and let's start in power, okay? And whenever one of our friends comes up with something, for example, Joanne has a book and it's coming out. She's launching it on the 3rd of June. Make sure that you are available for that launch, okay? And make sure that even anyone that will come up with any kind of launch, make sure that you are with them. For those of you that would love to be hosted on radio or TV, you let me know on time so that I can prepare that slot for you, okay? So that you can have that time and do. But make sure, one thing, you really have to be confident. You have to be super informed about your topics, okay? Because when someone hosts a person that is not sure about what they're talking about, that interview is not going to go well. I have hosted so many people. I know it when you host someone who has no information. So I want to see the purpose. I want to see your zeal. I want to see where you categorize. Send me 3 of the most important topics that you know or that you would love to talk about, and then we will pick it up from there. But I want to assure you that the caterpillar stage is over, whether you want it or not. The caterpillar stage has gone. The cocoon stage is going, okay? And you have nothing to do about it, because you can't be in a cocoon forever. You're going to be disappointed, frustrated, you're going to feel bad, and you're going to feel like, you know what, life is not worth it. And that's not the feeling that I want you to get. So when it's time to fly, fly. Trust your wings to be strong enough. Trust your will to be strong enough. Trust what God has deposited inside of you to be enough. You are enough, okay? You are adequate. You can do this, and you are going to do this, and you're going to do it in a mega way. Some of you are going to call for events, and some of you, not even some of you, we are all going to graduate, because this is May, okay? And now, given the I want us to go through the rota of TV interviews and radio interviews for those of you that are interested. Some of you that are not interested right now, you can gain that interest with time, and I'm leaving a full year open for you, so that you can catch up anytime. You can tell me, okay, now I am confident enough, now I have my topics, now I have have this, even if it's after 6 months. Just like I told you, you do not just come for mentorship. The meaning of a mentor is not someone that you liaise with or deal with for 8 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks and then they disappear. I am not that kind of person, okay? So I am going to be by your side even a year from now, even 2 years from now. I want to be the guide on the side because that is what it means to mentor, okay? If I were a public speaker now to you, I mean, I've gone to places to speak and that's it. I mean, they've given me a topic, I speak, I get, because per hour I charge 1,000,000 shillings. That is for starting companies. For other companies, now, sometime I think I was shooting here and I was telling you, Manja, MTN. But the thing is, so for some of those companies, NSSF, and it's not just to say, you know what, but when they request for an hour, that means that you have to illustrate, you have to talk, you have to speak, you have to have the Q&A, you have to, like, there's a lot of work involved. So an hour is actually 2 million, and they pay without bargaining, without even saying, without even frowning, without even closing their eyes. Why? Because they know the value. But if I had remained in my cocoon, I would have said, but Hilda, what do I call myself? Okay. But Hilda, I came from a very poor background. But Hilda, I mean, I am the one who even took long to get married. I married late and I don't fear talking about that. But Hilda, you, as in, what do you call yourself? I am enough. I am adequate. I'm actually more than enough. And I think I don't fit in the confines of enough anymore. Like Nasukau, okay? Why? Because I learned to believe in myself. Because if I don't, no one is going to believe in me. So I learned to believe in myself. And let me tell you, it's amazing that where I am right now, life is effortless. Though I create the discomfort so that I can be able to learn more and run far. Why? I do not want to arrive and I have not yet arrived. Okay. So, in as much as I am mentoring you, I am still on a journey of self-improvement and personal growth. And that journey is never going to stop. Even when I am 80 or 90, you are still going to see me on this road. And you'll be like, Nae Hilda, tava kukubo. Yes, sigenda kuva kukubo. Why? Because the world, the problems are not about to disappear. People's problems are not about to disappear. People are going to need help more than ever. And let me tell you, this industry is one that is growing every single second. The industry of self-help, of coaching, of counseling, of mentoring, of consulting, it is growing, it's skyrocketing. And there's something that I actually wanted us to talk about as we even finish. There are so many fakes on the market, that are just in this for money. And I don't want you to be a fake. I want you to be a person that has a heart for people, that feels for people, that is touched by their situations, that they will send you. I mean, whenever I used to come from a counseling session or with a client, and maybe there's something that was bothering me, I would go research. I pray for my clients. I do pray for my clients because I know that I can speak to them, but the implementation is going to be so hard unless God helps them, because sometimes it's so hard. The issues of the heart are so hard. Okay. So I don't want you to be the fake. I don't want you to be the kind who is consumed by money. I don't want you to be the kind. The reason as to why I made you even pay for this for this mentorship is because I wanted to see passion. I wanted to see a person that is willing and wants to go all the way. Okay, so I don't want you to be one of the fakes. And the other thing, I want you to be confident that when you get to the time of talking to people and dealing with their problems, you will not be the kind that is shallow. You'll not be the kind that is angaz. Have you gone to a doctor before? And you talk to this doctor and it seemed like either they don't understand you or they don't understand the topic you're talking about, or they're just not well informed. And it's so sweet to sit in front of a doctor who is informed, who can build rapport, who is confident. They will make you feel confident even in them, because then how will a doctor treat you if you're not confident in them? That means they must show you, they must speak your language, they must understand what you're talking about, they must interpret it to you, they must explain to you, they must show you, and they must prove it to you. And then you're like, wow, he knows what he's doing, okay? I feel like I'm in safe hands. So people have to trust you. This is an industry about trust, only trust. Okay, so people will learn trust, or will learn to trust you depending on what you post on your social media, how you portray yourself, how you appear. People are judges by nature. We are all judges. When you see someone, you start, connecting the dots, you start judging them, because we are human beings. So I don't want you to be offended by that and say, you know what, so people will be coming to judge me, people will be coming to to look at me and just to see how good I am. And yet people come for so many reasons. Some people come with different, genuine issues, and they want help. And some people are never just minded, okay? They've just come for their problem and they want it sorted. And then there are those who will want to see whether, there's reality, whether what you talk is actually sense. There are those who will even follow you, by the way. Let me tell you, most of your enemies will follow you faster than your friends, because they will want to keep tabs on you. They will want to know what's happening in your life and what's taking place. Okay, so Ninsima, okay, everything about, okay, someone says, I love the confidence you have, coach. That's the kind of confidence I want to have, and that's what the world is missing. Exactly, the world wants people that know what they're talking about. They are very sure beyond a shadow of doubt, and you cannot shake their belief. Okay, we keep learning, we unlearn, we relearn, and we become better every day. Let me tell you, confidence is something about action. Okay, it's about something about doing something. You do not just sit back and gain the confidence. You do and do and do and do, because when you repeatedly do something, then you become so good at it that you can do it with your eyes closed. You can do it without even thinking. You can do it without even planning. So that is when you see someone doing with their experience, and they're doing something so well, like you've seen people in Olympics, and the way they will do some of those weird things, it's because they have practiced and practiced, and they have rehearsed the same thing over and over again. The whole year they have been training, and now they are here to show you that they know what they are doing. So behind closed doors, train, read, research, okay, consult, ask questions, talk to people that you can talk to, provide pro bono services, talk to people, okay? Let me tell you, when it's time for you to, when it's short time, okay? When it's short time for you, it's going to be short time. And guess what? Everyone is going to give you the standing ovation. Everyone is going to clap. Everyone is going to say she understands what she's talking about. He understands what he's talking about. Why? You will speak from a place of power. You will not speak from a place of fear, not from a place of being intimidated or afraid of how people are going to look at you, whether they will love you or not. Okay, just like I told you, I have limited time for research right now. And right now, actually, I speak more from my experience and the things that I have seen and the vivid reality, because I deal with reality right now. And let me tell you, I can't tell you how much that is helpful. When someone hears something and they're like, you have spoken to me. This has been me the whole of my life. I want to be different. I want to make an impact. I want to make more money. I want to. Why? It's because you have stirred them up to show them that there is something more than what they have. Okay. So confidence is about action. Practice breeds confidence. Exactly. You do and do and do. And when you do it, effortlessly, you're so confident. When someone gives you that assignment, you're like, don't worry, I have it taken care of. It's done. Why? Because you've been doing it. But every time you're about to do something and then you become a coward, you walk away. And next time you want to do something and then you become a coward, you walk away. How else are you going to attain your confidence? Okay, so make sure that you do. Thank you, coach. I do not want to arrive. I don't want to arrive. Exactly. Never arrive. Arrivism is actually a demon that kills, okay? And it has killed so many people. When I was starting up, I used to, together with Tim, we would laugh. That was way back before we even thought about getting married. Okay, we were just friends. And we were like, but where are other coaches? Where are other counselors? And then he used to have his own theories. He used to tell me, maybe they got big clients, and they started earning good money, and then they arrived. And let me tell you, I don't know what happened to those to those counselors, but I know for sure there are those that started around that time and they vanished. They are nowhere to be seen. Why? Because they had to invest in themselves, they had to do all this work, and yet they didn't see any returns, and they got tired and threw in a towel. When I started, I actually when I started, definitely as a coach, transformational speaker, and an author. When the time that I came to write a book, and then all of a sudden I started seeing transformational speakers in Kampala and coaches and people that were listening and watching me on TV, and they wanted to be that, and they saw, they would follow me, they would read my articles, they would listen, they would watch TV, they would do everything. And those people learned to teach themselves, because they were like some of them have since come to me and told me, I used to ask myself, "Achikolo otya?" Like, "Ochikolo otya?" And I followed, I wrote down every topic you talked about. I even took notes while you were on TV. And all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? Let me also start out. I started at church. I started talking to people. I started talking to friends. And before I knew it, I actually became a prominent person. And I'm like, do you see what working on yourself really means? Do you see that you're flying? Do you see that you are far right now? You didn't need someone to point you to the direction. Your purpose woke you up, and your passion woke you up. And I am so glad. And we have so many that are actually not mentored, and they are trying the error. I mean, trial and error. But again, trial and error does not work, because this is what happens. It takes a longer time for you to bump into things and discover them by yourself. But if you have a mentor who tells you there's a dish there, do not fall in it, that means that you're going to squeeze up the time of your learning. That is why I call it accelerated mentorship for 6 to 8 months to 8 weeks, because that's not what that's not the time you require to actually have all these things. You can learn the hard way for 10 years, or you can get into acceleration and you accelerate your passion and your purpose, which you're doing right now. So I highly commend you for coming out and for standing for yourself and for taking this bold step and for signing up for this mentorship, because it's one of the best decisions that you have ever made, and you're never going to regret it. Okay, so let's attend the book launches. There is Musichana happening on the 28th. Make sure that you show as much support. This is a family that you have come into. We love each other. We are there for each other. Do not separate yourselves and say, we are transformers. Again, the others are world changers, and then the others are gladiators. They are doing their thing. The reason as to why I have a group that we are all involved in is because I want us to learn from each other and to be able to stand with each other, to network, to be able to work with each other. Right now, some of the gladiators, they have even employed themselves. Some of them are like, you know what, come and join here, come and join here, and they are working as a team. I'm amazed. They even meet without my knowledge, okay? Or I mean, the different people, they're like, hey, can we meet up? Oh, hey, can we do this? And it's quite amazing. And remember, I also talked about the leadership course, John Maxwell's leadership course. The leadership will be telling us, that is Joanne, together with Darren, together with Kakuru, and together with Mirembe, and our friend Karunji. They will be giving us what we are going to do. The first meeting, I think, they're planning for the 29th, and I hope that we are all there. Let's come out in big numbers. Let's meet, let's talk, let's put the voice to your face and to your name, so that we can know each other even before graduation day. But remember, for those that want to be part of radio and TV, please notify me early so that we can plan for you to be on radio and TV. And for those of you that are writing your books, I would love to know what you're writing about and what kind of help you need from me, okay? And do not hesitate to ask for anything. The people that come to my inbox, you know it, I get back to you. I give you priority. Above everything else, I give you priority. So when you ask something, or when you inbox me something, or if you're telling me something, I am open, okay? So I can leave everything else aside, but I make sure that I attend to you, because you are that important to me. Okay, so when the time comes for John Maxwell's course and leadership course, because that will be the last bit, we will talk about it, about starting our own roundtables and all that. I will give you all the details, because you're going to launch into your communities, and your communities are going to know that you were not just this laissez-faire person, but you're a person with a purpose. And let me tell you, so many of you are going to have your friends tell you how different you are, and how you're just not the same person. You sound different, you look different, because when your confidence increases, when you answer yes to your purpose, it opens a whole new dimension for your life, a whole new wisdom, a whole new confidence levels, a whole new self-esteem, a whole new kind of respect that the world is going to have for you. And if you do not give up, you're going to make it in a bigger way, and then you're going to make more money, because the moment you give value to the world, they are going to reward you with money. It's automatic. Okay, it's automatic these days. I mean, I'm at home and I receive money. Before I came here on phone, I was actually talking to someone in the UK, and I was having a session. Do you know that a session, how much it is when someone contacts me from? I have a steady. I have a rate card. So when someone calls you, it's like, oh, so how much do you charge and all that, and you tell them, and they're willing to pay their money just to have 45 minutes of your time and talk to them, and then you guide them through whatever they need to guide you. I mean, I am making money. Sometimes I don't even need to go out of my home to make money. I am making money while I am in my home. Okay, so I go out because I need to, to do all these things that I do, to, to watch over the companies, and the construction, and all the real estate projects that are going on. And then sometimes I take jobs just to challenge myself, to make sure that, what, I can wake up early in the morning and do the things that I need to do. But let me tell you, all that is answering and saying yes to my purpose. And my purpose has gotten me to where I am. And let me tell you, me, I'm analog. You are very.com. You can make it even better than me. You can be huge. You can be bigger than you ever thought. And some of you are going to be amazed. Some of you are going to be surprised by yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, but who have I become? Okay, this is not who I was. Okay, and the people that I pity most and worry about are your exes, those that lost a lot when they lost you, because now they're going to look at you and say, oh mama, I wish I stuck around, I wish I was with you. I know some of you are laughing at my comments, but it's okay. Great work. That is Anna, good to have you. Nisima, thank you so much. Our time has gone. It's a full hour that we've been here, but I've really missed you. That is why I even thought we had gone for 30 minutes, but it's been a full hour. But make sure that you fly. It doesn't matter whether your wings are small, whether your wings are tiny, you were created to fly. So fly, okay? Fly as you help other people, fly as you extend your hand, fly as you are there for them, fly, 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 and give as much value as you can. But you cannot give the value that you don't have. So you have to first get that value. You have to first transform your life, and then transform other people's lives. So I love you, and until next time, bye-bye.